Good morning once again, everybody. And as you all know, the topic for today's webinar is assertive decision making. So let me get started by having some interaction on this. We all make decisions, right? Is there anybody here who does not make decisions? We all make decisions. It's very obvious, right? And we make decisions on a daily basis, almost every moment. Should I have tea? Should I not have tea? Should I get up? Should I go to work? I mean, you can go on talking about how many decisions we make within the day for ourselves, right? But what is the difference really between regular decision making and assertive decision making? Anybody has any ideas that you would like to share? What do you think it is? Because this English language can be very, very confusing. And different terms that they introduce by adding some word like this, trust me, even I was confused. I just, thought assertive word comes from communication. People say passive communicator, aggressive communicator, you should be assertive communicator. So I really took it from there and I thought, oh, when you make a decision, and assertively communicated, that is called assertive decision, right? But then I was wrong. That's only one small part of maybe assertive decision making, but I have no connection. Like, I don't know many things why they are called the way they are called. Like, I don't know why 2 is called 2 and 4 is called 4, or, why what is called what. So they are just names being given. So I just want to warn everybody that assertive decision making is not just communicating the decision you make assertively. It's a little different than that. And before we get into more details on this subject, let me first explain the basic difference on the usage of these terms for decision making. So when we are making decision related to ourselves, that is normal decision making, okay? At least for this session, let us have this clarity. The normal decision making is when we are making decisions for ourselves in our lives. Number two, assertive decision making is being referred to any time you're making decision from a position of authority. You are an adult, so you're making a decision for a minor. You are a parent. You are a team leader. You are a manager. You are a, whatever, entrepreneur, others. So you are making decisions that are having direct impact on others also. Is that clear to everybody? Because this basic understanding is very, very important before we go forward. So what we are talking today is the points that you have to keep in mind when you are making a decision that has impact on others also. And that is what we refer to as assertive decision making. Is this point clear? Is anybody having any doubt on this point? Great, thanks, Pradeep. That helps. May I request once again, all of you, if possible, to keep your cameras on. That brings in extra energy in me. Let me start sharing my screen with all of you in the meantime. So, all right, Pradeep, if you can help me, is my screen visible? All right.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Excellent. Thank you, Pradeep. So, okay, I have something. Right. No worries. So, once again, I think all of you know me, but if somebody is here who does not, my name is Archana Krishnamurthy, and I am the founder of Conscious Living Center. And this particular weekly webinar series that we have been bringing to you, that is coming from one of the verticals we have called CLC Finishing School. This finishing school offers different kind of programs, and I just want to make this clear. We first help individuals who may want to understand more about life. Many times we are like, "Ye life kya hai?" Like, we don't know what the hell is this life. So if anybody is interested, we have programs that help you understand a bit more about what is life. We definitely help you more to understand yourselves, because many of us are busy living life without really knowing ourselves enough. We know about Steve Jobs more than we know about us. So maybe if you need clarity on yourself a little more, we have a proper program for that. Then again, the third thing, which is very, very critical, but very few of us have gone through any process to learn that, is how to find out what is our purpose, our real calling. Why are we even born? Like, why are we even here? Right? So there is a purpose, believe it or not, and it's a very scientific way of reaching that. And we have a program for that. If anybody is still confused about, I'm not very sure what I'm doing is what I'm meant to do. If there is any confusion, you're not happy doing what you're doing, even though you're doing it quite well, then this program could be for you. And then afterwards, once you have clarity on what is your purpose, then we support you through training, mentoring, counseling, etc., in living that life to the fullest for your purpose, right? Fulfilling that purpose in the best possible way. So you may need life skills, you may need professional skills, including technical skills, you may need language, English language skills, or you may need entrepreneurship skills. So we actually support you in all these areas through our finishing school. So having said that in introduction, let us get into the subject going forward. So let's understand the difference, especially between the normal decision-making process and assertive decision-making process. I'm not talking about how to make a decision. That I think many of you may already know, and you are making decisions. Now, there are three kinds of people, according to me. Okay. One, who are good at making decisions, at least about their own life. They feel, I'm quite good. Second category, oh my God, I'm really bad at making decisions. I do all the effort like everybody else. I then go and make a decision, and then repeatedly I'm seeing that my decisions have not been right for me. Number three are indecisive people. They can never make a decision. How much ever they know the process, they kind of have this analysis paralysis, as we call it. They keep thinking, then overthinking, too much analyzing, but then they depend on somebody else to help them come up with the decision. Now here, what is the end result of this? Is there anything good or bad about it? Yeah, according to me, yes, there is a difference. When you are good at making your decisions, you will see that you become self-confident because you realize you know what you are, what is right for you, and you are making certain decisions. You actually come out as a very self-confident person. Number two, when you are taking like ownership, sometimes you will make, some decisions that will go wrong, but you feel okay, 2 out of 10 have gone wrong. It's still okay. I can fall and I can get up and it's okay. You still go on with that positive attitude. The people who are not good in making decisions and see that out of 10, 9, they're making bad decisions, they lose their self-esteem and self-confidence. Others also keep telling them that, but they also start believing that. They don't know how to believe otherwise. Then they start going to this confidence building courses. But that doesn't help people. You have to, if at all any course one has to go, if this is the problem, is to really learn how to make decisions. And trust me, everything begins first by knowing yourself better. If you don't know yourself, you will not be able to make decisions that are right for you. Because a decision that is right for me may not be right for you. So that is a very, very important element that many of us may be missing. It's not the technicality of how to do pro and cons and all that story. Number three, the indecisive people. What happens to them? They're never taking ownership of their life. They're always cursing others. If things are not going okay, then they are telling, oh, that person said, so I did. I asked him actually, what should I do? Then he said, so I did that. So that person is never actually happy living. That person is not even living his or her life. Because good happens, it's because of somebody. Bad happens, it's because of somebody. They really never learned how to walk their life by themselves. So guys, decision making is far more important a skill than it seems. Frankly, the more I started thinking about it, I realized everything else comes after this. First, you have to make a decision, then it is like charting a path for yourself. Once you have chosen a path or charted a path, then question comes about, other skills that you have to be good at, including communication skills and all that, which you have to learn according to the path you have chosen. But if you really don't know how to make that choice, if you're learning, say, for example, English that is required for a marketing person, but you are in accounts, I don't know if that's the right kind of even learning. You're doing a lot of hard work, but that may go waste because the first part you're not done it right. So self-awareness, and then the next is making a decision about what you want to do before you learn anything else. So number one difference, I would say, is clarity. Sometimes when we are making decisions for ourselves and then we are just communicating to others, we may not talk about it with so much clarity on why we have decided that. We may say, I have decided to quit this company and join that company. And then you have a choice. Do you have to explain it to others? Maybe, maybe not. Does not matter really. And most of us don't want to, right? So that is okay when you're talking about individual decision. But when you are making a decision from authority means, as I mentioned again, you could be a parent and making decision for your child, or you could be making as an elderly person, you may be making decision for your entire family, and the decision is going to impact them. Or if you are in a corporate, you are a team leader and you are making a decision that will impact your team directly. In this case, it is the responsibility of the decision maker who is making the decision because he's trusted with that power and authority to communicate the rationale behind the decision, the reasoning, why they have arrived at that decision, and also very clearly communicate the impact of that decision on the people that you are governing in that authority. So you have to, with clarity, communicate your decision to your people. Confidence. Actually, this is interlinked according to me. If you have made your decision with complete clarity, then you will have confidence when you're presenting it. But sometimes what happens is people have made a decision, they have thought it through, they're even clear that is what they want to do, but the way they present, it seems they are open, and that can create confusion because they're just trying to be nice to people. Actually what I was thinking, why don't we do this? What do you think? And you have made a decision. If you want to ask opinion, which you should, it should be done before, not while communicating. While communicating, let it come out very directly that, guys, this is the situation. I thought it through. I have come to this decision based on this logic. This is how it will roll out. And this is the impact that we are expecting. And you are very clearly making it clear that you are owning it up. You're not going to say that, Acha, when I told, now, why didn't you guys tell about what you wanted? No, that you would have collected already. So the confidence has to flow when you're communicating that you're thought through. Because as a leader, if you don't look confident in whatever you're speaking, then people have difficulty in trusting your decisions. You have to have balance between self-interest and collective needs when you're doing assertive decision-making, because once again, assertive decision-making is about making decisions that will have impact on others. So it should not seem and it should not be that you have only taken care of yourself. Oh, he is saying that because he will get a promotion after that. It's a very common thing to hear in various corporates, right? People are suspicious. There is a trust issue because they don't understand how my needs are being taken care of. So when you are communicating your decision or even you are arriving at a decision, you have to make sure while the goal that you have, even it could be a professional goal that you are reaching out, my team has to achieve this target and therefore I'm doing this, but you should also consider what are other people's concerns? And you should be able to answer those concerns if they come up when you are communicating your decision. If it looks that you're not hearing them, you are not bothered, you're just going to do what you want to do because you just want to achieve your goal or target, it will not come out right for the long term at least. So very, very important to do this. Proactivity in seeking input is connected with the previous point. Do not wait for people's input after you have made a decision. What is the whole point? So first, when you are making a decision that will impact others, it is part of the process to first engage all the stakeholders and get their view on the topic also, so that they feel heard, so that you have considered their perspective before you have arrived and announced your decision. So proactively, not waiting for them to come back after you have announced, but you know what, this will not work for me, because you can only take that into account for future decision. But once you have made a decision, if you're waiting only from feedback to understand others' reaction on that, bad idea. Ownership and accountability, no doubt. When you are making decision for others from a position of authority, you have to take ownership and accountability. Very quickly, I want to tell the difference between these two words here. Ownership is whether you have decided to take somebody's perspective or not, whether you are deciding to go ahead with the majority or not. Whatever decision you are making as in that position, you have to own it that this is my decision. Later, depending on the outcome, you cannot say, actually, I was thinking like this, but then, when I consulted so-and-so, he or she said that. You cannot do. Accountability, whatever is the outcome, good, bad, ugly, you are taking charge of it. No passing the buck. So own that you made the decision and be accountable. Whatever outcome it brings, you have to take it on yourself. Handling of conflicting opinions is also very, very important. Because when you're making, the higher the position you have in an organization, the more the people, the more departments, for example, from a team leader to like a CEO, there's a huge difference. CEO making a decision is impacting the entire organization. And it's far more complex. Now think of a leader like a prime minister. He is making one decision, it is impacting the whole country, for God's sake. A chief minister, whole state, etc. So the bigger your position, the higher your level, the more complex it will be. And when it is complex, people, how much ever you have proactively collected all the views, like, national education policy, I'm sure all of you know. Years together, a committee was constituted, they collected, they did a lot of seminars, workshops, they online created portals where people could come and give their inputs, common man to teachers, to everybody. Even till today, there is resistance from the market saying, my view was not considered. So this will happen, guys. How much ever you think you have covered everybody, there will be somebody who will feel my views are not being heard, or nobody is telling me very clearly why my opinion is not being considered. So there will be somebody challenging you. The higher your position, the more challenges you will have. And you have to know, when you are dealing with assertive decision making, you have to know how to handle these conflicting opinions effectively. And the best way, frankly, again, go back to point number 1. If you have clarity and you have done the process well, proactively sought input, thought it through, and then are announcing your decision with absolute clarity, a lot of this will be avoided, but still some will be there. And that time you have to know how to manage these conflicts. Okay, now I'm going to give you 5 specific tips to get better with assertive decision making. So how many of you who are here have to make assertive decisions and not just decisions? I want a thumbs up. Okay, Deepu has given her hand up. That will also do. Or just give a thumbs up in the chat box. I know. Yeah, Deepu and Pradeep and Uday. How about the rest of you? Mayank, Mahesh, Ranjita, do you guys make ever decisions that has impact on others? I'm sure you have, but anyways, let's move forward. If there is still a confusion whether you are making or not, okay? So, yeah, I see Mayank also here has his hand up. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So 5 tips. Number 1, as I have mentioned before, cultivating self-awareness is critical, guys, because you cannot be making decisions that are not according to the basic value systems and principles that you even stand as a leader. People trust you not just because of the authority and the position, people trust you because of who they think you are. And therefore, every decision when you make, you have to make sure that it is aligned with that. But if you are not thinking about how it might be conflicting with a major value system that you have been building a brand, personal brand, and people know you for, and you are not communicating that with clarity with your decision, if at all it seems like a conflict, why it is not, then that can go wrong. So one of the most important things to be good with this skill is to really, really cultivate self-awareness. We have to learn clear and respectful communication. If the people who are sitting in front of you can speak only Oriya, they can understand only Oriya, and then you go and make an announcement that will impact their lives in English and walk out, it's not going to work. You can keep a translator. I'm not saying you should learn Oriya now, but you can keep a translator, take somebody's help, but you have to make sure you're communicating it the way that they would understand. The place, the language, the method adopted in communicating is important. Some things have to be done face to face. Some things can be done in written. Some things need both of them. Depends on how much is the impact. All right. Respectful communication. Now, how much ever opposing view somebody may have from you, and you are aware of it, that they're not happy with this decision, they are only taking it because they don't have a choice. And you know, they will be looking for every given opportunity to come back to you and tell, I told you this will not work. But you have to deal with them. They're an important part of the system. So when you are dealing with them, keeping aside your personal issues with them or how you feel, you have to, as a leader, as a person in authority, you have to know how to respectfully deal with them, because it's not like they're trying to be just bad to you. They just have a different opinion about things, and that is their way of expressing. Even if they are doing things like it's like a child and parent, actually in corporate, it's not very different. A child is throwing tantrums, should the parent also start throwing tantrums? Actually, nowadays I do see some Facebook and WhatsApp videos which are kind of strange. If your child is crying, you also cry like him, and then the child is startled and becomes quiet. Oh, bad idea. Maybe temporarily when the child is really small, you're just startling. Actually, you're giving it a shock. You're diverting the child's attention. Maybe, but that's not a real solution. So even if your child is playing tantrums, you should know how to respectfully deal so that the child really, when it gets the maturity to understand, it will understand. Right? Balance logic and empathy. Sometimes leaders are only left-brained, will not help. That's why emotional intelligence has become so important nowadays. Right? So you have to have logic, no doubt. Yeah, every decision has to have proper logic, but also empathy about what are the issues that others may have. What are they feeling? Is it a sense of fear? Or what is it? Is it change itself? People fear change. right? So is it that what it is? You have to be somebody who is aware of it and knows how to balance this and that. Sometimes some things can be done in phases so that you can manage that side of emotions in people that they may have. Set boundaries and say no. Many of us struggle with this, right? In decision making, like, you can go on receiving opinion, but then there will be people who will act. Now that you have asked me and I have told you have to listen to what I have said. Otherwise, why did you even ask me? But then you are only taking inputs and it is still up to you to consider that and then make the decision that you want to make. But people may not be very happy around you when you do that. So you have to really know when to say no and how to say no. And right in the beginning to set boundaries about what people can and cannot expect from you. Now, as I'm saying this, guys, I'm sure you all are thinking, my God, we need training about each one of this separately, right? They all look like small things, but when you try doing it, it's like, ouch, like, I don't think I know enough about that. That's true. Take ownership for outcomes. Now, this is completely non-negotiable. As a leader, you can never say that you did not do your job, so I failed in my strategy. Guys, part of the job for a manager or a leader is to assist and support your team to be able to do their job. And when they're not able to do their job, then to know who else you can delegate, who else you can take in, or roll up your sleeves and do the damn job. You have to be ready for that. So if you are somebody who is in the blame game, you're not yet there. And you cannot be doing decisions for others. People will not trust you because people will say, Abhi to khade hoke he's saying, oh, I'll tell you what to do. You all should just do that. But when things will go wrong, he'll point the fingers at us. When things will go right, he will go and take the award and not even mention us. Again, a common complaint in corporates, but sometimes it's true, sometimes it's lack of communication properly about these things to the team that the team also may misunderstand. All right. I will be giving you guys a chance for questions and interaction, guys, but I have loved this way of doing it in one go from my side and then, answering. So please hold on or keep putting it in the chat box if you have questions about anything I've covered. Okay. Very quick case studies I want to give you about one where assertive decision making went right and one where it went wrong. Microsoft embrace of AI integration, right? We all know recent thing it is 2023, Microsoft made an assertive decision to heavily invest in and integrate OpenAI's artificial intelligence technologies such as ChatGPT into its suite of products, including Microsoft Office and Azure. This move required significant financial commitment, a $10 billion investment in OpenAI. So even for a Microsoft-like company, that's a big investment they're talking about doing something that they have never done, and it may go right or it may go wrong. And the management took a decision to go for it, right? And a shift in focus toward generative AI across the company's product line. This is a big, big, big move. If by chance this was not accepted and it did not go the way it went, many people would have said they went in too early. They should have waited for a bit more. But fortunately, things went very well. And look at the outcome that they got. And how did this outcome come? What did they do right is what I'm giving first. They had absolute clarity of the vision of what they want to accomplish. They balance the interest between like how they want to in phases like train their people, everything. They planned it so well on how they will achieve what they want to achieve, but they will also support people to migrate from where they are to the level that they want. Ownership, they took complete ownership, the management. It's not just one person, of course, in large corporations, it's the top management. Right? Now, what was the outcome? Amazing increase in the stock value. Their competitive position against rivals like Google really went up. And then it reinvigorated product lineup, recharged. Like the whole environment was now talking, what else can we do? What else can we do? And in a short span of time, we could see that there were a lot of different products that came up from Microsoft, which they were not earlier thinking of, with one major change in the strategy, at the strategy. Now, usually assertive decision making has to be actually used at that strategic level, big impact level. Some small day-to-day routine work with your team and all that, it may not be possible to do all the steps involved in assertive decision. Okay. This is another case study I mentioned where assertive decision making did not go well. And look at what happened. There is a company called Peloton. Okay. In 2021, they faced significant safety issues. They have a treadmill, which is called Tread Plus, after reports of injuries and a tragic incident involving a young child's death. So the Consumer Product Safety Commission, CPSC, issued a warning about the dangers of the treadmill and advised Peloton to recall the project. However, Peloton's initial response was assertive but dismissive, as the company declined the recall recommendation, citing that their products were safe when used according to guidelines. So you see, this was like a little bit of defensive rather than trying to understand the situation and deal with it right. So let us look at what they did and what are the, yeah. So first thing, there was a very firm communication. They said, we are not accepting your recommendation. And they just said, problem is with the user. Guidelines mein diya tha, this is what they should do, this is what they should not do. They did not adhere. That's why maybe that happened. A child has died, for God's sake. So although it was a very firm communication, they did not consider how at the consumer end, this will look. Number two, there was overconfidence. They did not say, we will definitely check, we will do some precautionary measures, we'll reintroduce with those things, or we'll make sure it is understood that children below this age should not use or whatever. They actually just communicated what they had to communicate right after they received the recommendation with overconfidence. Okay. Delayed accountability. They ultimately took accountability for it and did what they had to do. But then that came in so late that by then the company had faced the impact of wrong decision. One, their reputation went for a toss. They had huge financial losses. Even if they made the statement, there is nothing wrong, a child died. People stopped buying their product. And customers' trust dipped big time. So these are very delicate times, when companies, when they have to recall these cars and this and that, these are big companies, big brands, and they're always confused. If I do this, it will be seen as my lack of doing something which I don't want to be seeming like I've done a mistake, but you have to be careful. This is not how customers look at you. Customers, if something is brought out and is proven that something has gone wrong, they want a more empathetic consideration and response than simply saying, not our problem. Okay. Okay, are you all ready for a quick quiz? Hello, everybody. Are you all up, awake? I want the cameras on, please. Hello. Okay, Sanjay is on. Mayank, Supriya, Mahesh, Deepu. Quick quiz time, yeah. Quiz time will be fun if you are on camera. All right. I don't know if people are workplace or whatever it is. Some of them have trouble, it seems, but that doesn't matter. Good that you have joined. So let's start with the quiz. So here, what's the rule? Whoever wants to answer should raise their hand using the emoticon button that you guys are using. And I will call out the first person to give the answer. If the answer is wrong, then it will go to the second person. Okay. And I'm marking all the guys here. Okay. Which of the following best defines assertive decision making? Let me see if all of you have been hearing me or not. Making decisions based on pleasing others, decisively choosing options without considering others' perspectives, making clear, confident decisions while respecting both your and other needs, avoiding conflict by choosing the easiest option. Quick. Okay, Pradeep, go for it. Which one? A, B, C, D.
Option C.
Very good. So Pradeep gets 1 point. There are 10 questions, guys. So be ready. Okay. What is a key benefit of assertive decision making in the workplace? It increases chances of conflict with others. It promotes a stronger team culture and mutual respect. It eliminates the need for feedback. It allows for faster decisions by avoiding analysis. Okay, Pradeep, go for it.
Option B.
Option B. That's right. Pradeep is at 2. Guys, Mahesh got a little late. Okay, next one. But good, you're giving competition. I like that. When making an assertive decision, which approach should you prioritize? Okay, my mouse. Hello. Okay. Only consider your own viewpoint and interests. Balance your needs with those of others involved. Follow the majority opinion. Avoid taking responsibility for the outcome. Deepu, go for it. Deepu, answer. Oh, you have written in the chat box or what? I don't know. Okay. Deepu to B. That's right. Deepu gets 1 point. Okay. And let's go for the next one. So I see that some of you cannot speak from wherever you are. So I need to see the chat box. Okay. What is the first step in the assertive decision making process? Who can tell me without options? Come on. All right. Let me. Gathering all necessary information, asking others for opinions, making a quick decision. Be careful in this one. Avoiding emotions. Somebody. Deepu. Okay. D. No. Pradeep.
A.
That's right, Pradeep. Pradeep gets 3. So, Deepu, first you need to make the gather all the information before you can make the decision and go forward. Okay, excellent. But good try. Which of these strategies is important for assertive communication in decision making? Okay, strategies for assertive communication. Speaking in a passive tone to avoid conflict. Being clear, direct, and respectful when stating your decision. Uday already has an hand up. Using aggressive language to emphasize your decision. Ignoring others' reaction to your decision. Uday.
B.
That's right. Give a big round of applause to there. That's fine. Great. Which of the following is an example of assertive behavior in decision making? Apologizing excessively for your decision, clearly explaining your decision and listening to feedback, avoiding making a decision to prevent conflict, dominating the conversation to ensure your decision is accepted. Uday.
Clearly explaining your decision and listening to
That's
feedback.
right. So +1. Uday, you have to keep your hand down and again raise it. He's
Yeah, I'll do
permanently
that.
kept it on.
I just realized that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. If you face opposition to your decision, an assertive decision maker should compromise on the decision without discussing it further, ignore the opposing view entirely, listen to the opposing viewpoint and express their own perspective calmly, change the decision immediately. Deepu, I have to look at the, okay. C, that is right. All right, excellent, Deepu. So, Deepu, hands down now. Okay. All right. Which of these techniques helps build assertiveness in decision making? Practicing saying no confidently when necessary, avoiding any confrontation or challenge, agreeing to all suggestions from others, letting others make decisions on your behalf. Deepu. Okay, Deepu. A, that is correct. Practicing saying no confidently. Pradeep, you're missing out by a second. You know what? These fellows are like Uday and Deepu, what they're doing, they're not waiting for all the options at Smart in a quiz, right? Pradeep is very careful. He is waiting for all the options, by then somebody is up. But good, let's see. Assertive decision making often requires self-awareness. Why is this important? Allows you to make impulsive decisions. It helps you identify your values and preferences, guiding informed decisions. It ensures others feel more comfortable with your decisions, or it prevents you from changing your mind. Uday.
Uh, it helps you identify your values and preferences, guiding informed decisions.
Absolutely. That's great, Uday. Big round of applause to you. In assertive decision, making, how should you handle feedback after making a decision? Nice one. Okay. Disregard all feedback to avoid second guessing. Listen to feedback considering its relevance to future decisions. Take feedback personally and become defensive. Avoid giving others a chance to provide feedback. Deepu. Okay. B, very true, right? So after you have made a decision and when people give you feedback, it's not like you have to say, oh, I already gave you a chance. At that time, you didn't say and all that. Listen to their feedback and consider that relevance of that for your future decision at least. Excellent. Deepu, big round of applause to you. And that's it, guys. So we have a tie with all the three. How the hell do I decide now? All the three will get one chocolate from me. All right. Now, all three of you, that's strange. Who gave one more? Did I miss 1 marks to you, Deepu? Did you give 4 answers? Well, I thought one time I was confused. Yeah. So actually,
I think
Deepu is the
she
clear.
did.
Deepu is the
Yeah.
clear winner, guys.
Winner,
Give
yeah.
a big round of applause to Deepu. So Deepu, although your camera is not on, you proved that you are very attentively attending this. Thank you. So now time for questions, guys. Any questions related to anything that we have covered? Do you understand the difference clearly? If not, you can ask again, whatever you.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, hi. Is it Deepu?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yeah.
Ma'am, actually, this topic is very relevant to my team and my department also. Mainly basics of the assertive decision making. That is how I should means here very that much people are only one person is there. They are implementing the fears in a team. If they obey my answers and if they obey my words and if they obey my rules and regulations, all the team members except one person. Because of maybe he's an employee of the union, employees and all. I came from my cabin, that's why I'm speaking. Maybe our team members are fear about him. That is why they are not obeying my words. And also they have told the flow of work is in this way only, like that the team members are very negatively. So I tried to very handle with the care and positively. But even though my team members are fearing about that person, only one person. Management also know this one.
Sorry. Continue, Deepa. Sorry.
Management also know this matter. Already in my position of the assistant manager position in the metrology department and the instrumentation and all.
Right.
That have handled so many persons, like more than 10 persons. But they cannot handle like this type of persons involved in that. Only one person is like that.
Okay.
So how can I forward to come over that one?
Yeah. So Deepu, if like you have to assess that person actually, right? If he is really good in his work and is a very important member of the team for your organization, and therefore, even though he is not able to collaborate with all of you effectively, you are wanting him to be in the team, then one of the ways is to really develop a personal rapport with that person, and you might have to sit with him one-on-one.
Yeah, ma'am.
Sometimes people need that attention, and sometimes they may have something to say that they're not able to say in a group situation, or they get too defensive because they're the only one who is having a different opinion. But actually, the different opinion may be a very good one, but it's just that it has to be tackled one-on-one. So one of the things is, let them know that you are keen to understand them and their view, and you just don't want to shut them off just because they are the only one going against anything. So that gesture itself, that you are coming forward and wanting to understand, sometimes helps the person to explain to you what's going on. Number two, if the issue is sometimes people feel neglected, and the only way they know that they have to be noticed is when they are doing something that nobody else is doing. Okay. Now that is a different issue they are dealing with, and that is not your thing. But if you come to know of it and you can bring it to their attention, it may help them deal with their own issues differently. Right? Thirdly, if they are just problem creators sometimes, bad fish needs to be removed from the lake before it
Yes, ma'am.
poisons all the other fish. So you have to decide. But sometimes people are individual great contributors, bad team members. So if you can put him in a place, the organization, and you say that he is not able to be mended any other way, but he is really good as an individual contributor, just cannot work with others. See if you can actually give him that space to just work on his own and contribute. But if that is not feasible in the organization, then he may be a great person, but not fit for the role and the organization.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome. Thanks, Deepu. Any other question from anybody? Okay, I guess everybody is sorted. So that is that from me, guys. I want all of you, please, to either unmute and give one takeaway that you had from this session, or put it in the chat box, please. So I'm going to, ask Pradeep you first, simply because you have been the nicest of all, being on camera from beginning. So if you are ready with your takeaway, can we hear that, please?
So, ma'am, good morning once again to all of you. So, I have, recalibrated my mind to think about the decisions that I made on my, work life and on personal life as well. So, yesterday when you pinged in the WhatsApp that you should make some assertive decisions, so I made a decision to go for the gym, and this is the first time in my life. That is what I
Wow.
made.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
Amazing. Amazing. So even before the session, you had a takeaway from just the message. So
Yeah.
I love that, Pradeep. Actually, that is so true. When something gets us ticking to think
Yes.
about something, and we, gather our willpower, so to say,
Yes.
we have that amazing power, but we need a little charger to do it sometimes, right? So I'm glad you already did that, and you are seeing the benefit of that. And stay with us and keep sharing these stories. It actually makes our life also better. Amazing.
Sure.
And let me know if I can be of any help going forward as well.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Pradeep.
Okay. Archana, this is Uday here. So I think for me, one of the key takeaways was how taking other people's perspective is, equally important in assertive decision making. So that was one of the standout things for me.
Yeah, because assertive decision making you're making from your authority, and it does have a direct impact on others. So whether you are doing it as a parent, as an elderly person, as a team head, or a CEO, very, very important to have that. And we miss out sometimes because we're not aware of it, maybe. Yeah. But thank you there. Thank you for sharing that. Deepu, you just are next on my screen, so I have to ask you. I'm just going by how my screen shows. Actually, I will probably, this is my thank you, by the way, guys. And I'm going to stop sharing and let me look at all of you. Okay, Deepu, are you there? Okay, but she will type. Okay, so let me see. Okay, Mahesh has already said take ownership. Mahesh, okay, there are two Maheshes today. So Mahesh from TTIPL has said, take ownership for outcomes. Very, very important one. Thank you. Glad, Mahesh, if you liked it. All right. So Deepu, anything from you, dear, if you're there? Okay. Anybody? Supriya, Sanjay, Mahesh, Krishnamurthy. Anybody can take the lead. There are two Maheshes, so I'm just trying to say the whole thing. Mahesh, what about you? You are the next nice one on camera. So please, let's hear your feedback.
A nice session.
Thank you.
Gives a perspective of how to take assertive decisions and also what are the things to be considered and its impact.
Yeah.
So that is really important that you also assess the impact of your decisions before taking a decision and take a conscious and a uh, well thought of decision. And then that you should have to stick to it to make it an assertive decision.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just one small thought, and then you cannot be dilly-dallying. Oh my God, I didn't think of that. Shouldn't happen. Well thought out is a very, very important thing. Thank you, Mahesh. That is awesome. Deepu. Okay, Deepu already discussed, so she doesn't know what else to say here. Ranjita, Supriya. You can unmute and speak, or you can put it in the chat box, whatever is easier. Okay, Sanjay, are you there? Sanjay has already
Yes,
said,
Archana.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any takeaway that you
I've
want
been
to
here.
share?
I've been here throughout the session, actually.
Yes, yes.
Just circumstances don't permit me to put on the
No worries. That's all right.
cameras.
Any
Yeah.
takeaway that we want to share, Sanjay?
No, wonderful session and absolutely full of deep insights that are useful for everyone, whether at home or actually at work.
That's right.
Because we don't only live at work. So uh, you're always negotiating even with your own family members. And therefore, these rules and principles come very much handy, especially in a multi-generational setting,
Yeah.
because you have to negotiate. You can't, lay down the law, no matter what your status, even in a family. So these principles help in life as well. That's my feedback.
Actually, yeah, thank you so much, Sanjay. In fact, now that you say that, I realize, not only multi-generational, though, is there any way between like parent, child, etc., as we said, or grandparents, etc., but even within the same generation, because, we sometimes assume that we all think alike because we are all similar in age or whatever it is. But actually, if you think carefully, like we are such unique individuals and our way of thinking is so unique that if you really go to that aspect of it, that self-awareness, how it connects to all the decisions we make, we can understand that how even within our generation, we all don't necessarily think the same way, value the same things, or make the same decisions in life. So it
Very
helps
right.
us.
Yeah.
It helps us to understand the uniqueness of every individual. I think it's very, very important. Yeah.
In fact, at home, I've had to practice it because of the specific circumstance of my son. But I can tell you, we've brought it into the workplace as well. I mean, you and I have done career services where we've done psychometrics to understand each student and what their orientation is, what are their primary drivers, and everything else. I think in the business thing, now let me switch over to business. And the business vertical, if you're running a team, if you don't understand what a person's communication processing style is, because people process either orally as in listening. Some people are kinesthetic, they process everything with writing, etc., etc. Very, very crucial when you first get in a new team together so that you don't make missteps. Because if the leader has a visual mind and they put up everything in pretty pictures, well, there could be people on the team who can't make head or tail of it because they're not good at map reading,
Absolutely. And as a team, Sanjay, this is such an important point you have brought out actually, that in a team, I realize many times we are assumptions and we don't speak about some things. So, for example, it was, interesting when I started hearing different team members say, if you have something, please walk up to me, as against putting it in a message. I personally am a chat person. Okay. I like to do multitasking in that way that I can save time and I feel I can be direct and I can just put in one line here, there. But many people do take it wrong because that's not their style and the emotions for them don't come across that way. So they prefer, why don't you pick up your phone, or why don't you just come? You may be feeling the same, but then the whole communication goes for a toss. So I think
Very well
true.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, with new clients, one of the things I ask them is that we have so many channels for communication. Which is the one you monitor? And I was surprised. Last week, one client said, I only monitor SMS.
Yes. Yeah, there
You
are
know, we're so
people, they
used to
don't like
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, I have been told. Instead of
Yeah,
WhatsApp, why don't you SMS? Yeah, because they don't
yeah,
put the data on all the time, I think.
correct.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
okay. Thank you.
Great. Thank you,
Thank you.
Sanjay. Thank you, everyone, for being so attentive and being there and making the whole session interesting. And I hope this definitely helps each one of us in getting better in whatever we are doing. And I hope to see you all next week too. Thank you. Bye-bye.